Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to replace the screen on a Dell E6500, Latitude E6500 laptop. First things first, you gotta have some tools. First, I got a little plastic prying tool, sometimes called a spudger. It's used for getting the bezel off from around the screen. And then I've got two screwdrivers. One's a little guy. I don't remember what size screws are in here. One's a relatively small one, and one's a somewhat larger one. I also have a couple little bowls here so I can put my removed screws. I don't remember if there are any different sizes. I don't think there are, but we'll see. I have two bowls in case I need to keep some screws separate. So, first things first, close the laptop lid, unplug the power obviously, take the battery out. You do not want it charged while you work on it. You can see my laptop is not in great shape, but that's just because I'm an idiot. Alright, so you'll see around the edges here, there's a little bit of a seam. You want to get your little prying tool in there and basically just pop this guy open. Let's see what the best way to do this is. There we go. So it's going to take a little force. It might feel like you're going to break it. You might break some of the clips, but you know, what can you do? There we go. Once you get it started, everything's a little easier usually. Okay, and we're back. I've replaced the Phillips head screwdriver tip on my bigger screwdriver with a flat blade, and this one hopefully will work a little better for prying without breaking the prying tool, I mean. Well, this is working much better. And there we go, bezel is removed. And you can see there are basically just 4 screws that hold the screen assembly in. There's one at each upper corner and one at each lower corner here. This looks like it'll be a better job for my little screwdriver, and sure enough, this guy fits perfectly. So I'm going to just remove these guys, store them in my bowl here. And after that, the screen should just come up. Now, you can see this is an LED backlight model, so there's just one connection. It's super easy. So here, this guy, let's see, there's a little metal pull tab, and it just comes right out. That's it. Super simple. And then at that point, you can just remove the whole screen assembly. Now, there are brackets on this screen. The new screen will not come with these mounting brackets. So you can see there's 2 screws on each side, and those are so you can remove these little edge mounting brackets and then swap them onto the new screen. New panel, I should say. So let's take these screws out. I'm going to put these in a different bowl because they do look like they're a different size, at least a different length. There's the second bracket. You want to make note of which side these go on, because if you don't, the connector on the back won't reach when you try and reinstall it. It'll be upside down. And I'm back. Here we go. Once again, this is the replacement screen from laptopscreen.com. It's a LG screen. Should be the OEM type. It's got a protective cover on the front that you obviously want to remove. Otherwise, you'll have plastic over your screen when you actually want nothing over your screen. So it's just some little tape tabs holding it in. And there it comes off. You need to take this off because they cover the mounting holes for these brackets. So here again, there's our bracket. Connector's down here. So this is going to be oriented the correct way. This goes in like this. So this bracket is on the correct side. So we'll start with this guy. You can see there's a couple little pins that go into mating holes. There's a little pin here, little pin here, they go into mating holes. So you really can't get it in wrong unless you've broken something, and that will ensure that the screw holes line up properly. Sometimes it's useful to have 3 hands. I unfortunately do not. That guy goes in there. Should go in this other screw hole. There it goes. It should go in easily. Don't try and force it. If you're forcing it, it's probably cross-threading, and you're probably damaging the threads in the new panel. So if it's not going in straight, you're encountering a lot of resistance, just back it out and try again. Here's a second bracket. Again, same deal, it's got a couple pins. Goes right in there. Gotta get my screws here ready to go. Okay, so that's panels. The panel now has the brackets on it. Now at this point you want to reconnect the cable. This has both the data and the backlight, and this just goes in just like it came out. It's just a flat connector. It just goes in with friction. There's nothing else to it. Just goes in like that. And as they say, installation is the reverse of removal. So you drop that back in, and then you put the screws back in where they came from. If I'm putting in multiple screws, I tend to leave them all loose until I get them all in, and then I start tightening them down. That way it avoids any misalignment issues. When you tighten one screw too early, it forces everything out of whack. So it's just a little trick. Sometimes can come in handy. Again, these screws should not take a lot of force to screw in. The screws have a little bit of thread locker on them, so they're not going to spin extremely freely, but they should not take a lot of force. And now that you've got this last one in, you can start tightening them down. And I like to go crosswise, diagonally, etc., etc. That's pretty standard. And that's it, you're snug. And at this point, if you wanted, you could actually test it, but I'm pretty confident that it's going to work. Yeah, what the hell, let's test it. Plug it in, power on. So far so good. Yep, it looks good to me. And then, last thing to do, just pop the bezel back on. This is just push it, everything, get everything to click back into place. And that's it, you're done. Easy peasy.